Hello.
Hi, Mandy.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Sorry, I'm running a little late. Let me put your information in. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm getting there. This one. That did. All right, now. There you are. Okay, so it's quite a bit of stuff here. What do you want me to look at first?
Let's look at the third one first.
Okay,
The set, yeah, that one.
Supporting teachers, support ELLs. Okay. Okay. Did you wanna read this through? What are you thinking?
Mm,
Have you read it?
yeah, we read it together.
Oh, good. We read it together. All right. So tell me what you're thinking to look at.
I think I just maybe need to see if I need to add more to the essay from the article.
Okay, so should I look at the essay then?
Yeah, we can look at the essay.
All right, let's see here. Wait, let me just review this for a second. Okay, I can't remember. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, okay. All right, now let me go back. All right, and now I should look at which one?
The one with the number 3 is the so-called with that article. They're everyone's kids.
Okay, so I looked at the article. Let's see, this one. The reaction papers. I know that one. Okay, let's see. Does it start with the growing number of students who need ESL classes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did we look at? Did I see any of this written?
I think you saw it last time I met with. I think I showed you this. You just said like maybe I need a student citations from the book, the article.
Okay. Okay. heard this part. Let's see, let me go back and look at this.
Okay.
Did we go over the connections part? I remember.
I think I added more to this.
Okay. Yeah, because familiar. Okay. All right, so tell me what you want to do now. So I've looked at it. You think it's ready to go?
Um,
Really?
I don't think I really wrote about my connection to the article.
Well, you talk about working with TESL students during your clinical experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and how some of the problems were not what you experienced.
Yes.
So I don't know, you might want to have at the very end here, more personal statements, ended. The article mentions students may need to be in the ESL program for expenditary time and are therefore unable to obtain. Additionally, does not have best funding or access to quality resources. So some schools get more than others. For commuters, this can be a problem. So did you witness that yourself?
What?
Did you see how the lack of funding was?
Yeah, because there was strikes almost every year when I was at CPS.
Okay, and then how did that affect the students and you?
It's just like, for me, it affected, like, really what it affected was like, didn't have to go to school, which was what I liked. But I think it kind of affected the way we learned because of the funding and stuff. But
So this is when you were actually a student?
at CPS, and it also
CPS?
and it also happened last year too, with the so-called funding of the school nurses.
Okay,
It still happened. It's still going on.
okay, and did that affect you personally?
That affected my brothers because
okay.
they were week that after so-called the first or second week, which they're supposed to go back to school. They only have like 2 week of winter break. That's third week was supposed the first week of January was last year was supposed to be the week
Uh-huh.
they go back, but they all of a sudden had a strike. I think they did attend one day or not that week. Yeah. I think they did attend one day and then they had started a strike the rest of that week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe one more paragraph then about how it really personally, when you were a student at CPS, something like because the teachers went on strike when I was a student at CPS. What grade were you in?
Let's see. I think it was toward the end of well, what grade was that?
High school or
No, it
grammar
was
school?
still in grammar school.
Okay.
I think it was in the toward the end of graduating those few years.
The 7th grade or 8th grade?
I don't think it's 5 or 6. I think either 7th or 8th grade time. Oh,
Okay.
actually, I think 8th grade. It was 8th grade.
Okay. So, because CPS teachers went on strike, uh, when I was in 8th grade,
Yeah.
I was able to see firsthand
Right.
I think I don't know if firsthand is 2 words or what. I have no idea. Firsthand. It looks like if it doesn't give you a red line, you're fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
They have to see firsthand how the lack of school funding affected an AFM, affected my education.
Yeah, so-called. I think during that so-called strike, my writing teacher had assigned an assignment to like write like a little diary, or either my homeroom teacher kind of like assigned an assignment to like write about what happened, like a little diary of what happened. But like, I think when we went back, the teacher didn't even look at the little diary or went over what happened. Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we shared about what happened.
Okay, so you felt like your writing was affected?
No, like we were supposed to the teacher assigned us an assignment, like writing what happened, like a little diary of what happened. But like I don't think in the end, when we went back after their strike, they didn't ask us to read it really. The little
Is that bad?
I think kind of, because like so-called they're the one that assigned that little assignment, and then they didn't really go over it. Like, not really go over it, but like they didn't they were the one that signed it, and then what? Yeah, didn't they go over the assignment like?
So
See
do
how,
you think that was bad for your writing that you weren't able to go over it?
I think a little bit maybe.
Because I'm trying to make the connection here. Strike. Oh, you got the word strike by that. Went on strike. When I was in 8th grade, I was able to see firsthand how the lack of school funding affected my education. Now you got to tell us how that happened. For example, my my writing, or whatever you could say, math, I don't know, but something. You need some example.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Okay, let's see. Sure. Understand that, but each one does break straight. Okay. So look at this. When the teacher had assigned us a writing assignment during the strike,
mhm.
okay, go about our days. Now what?
I think it was really just asked like so far like writing about what you did at home when they were
Okay.
striking. Was that
But I want you to look at the sentence. Well, first of all,
Mhm.
what are you gonna do with that capital my teacher? Are you making that part of the sentence? Or is it a separate sentence? Okay, look at this. Now listen to what I'm gonna say, okay?
Yeah.
Just listen. When the teacher had assigned us a writing assignment during the strike about our days at home.
Oh yeah. Okay. Comma here.
What's that called? Do you know what that's called?
So a fragment.
Exactly. Exactly. So you got to finish it. So what'd you do? Put a comma there instead of the H, instead of the period after home. The comma. What'd you do? I what? Oh, after the comma. I what? Did you do it?
Yeah, I did it.
Okay. Tell us that. I. Okay, good. Okay. So now one thing.
Yes.
Look at this word. What's wrong with it? Okay.
Oh, at the ed.
Exactly, because you're writing about the past. Okay. When the teacher had assigned us a writing assignment during the strike about our days at home, I stayed home and wrote about 3 days. Okay. So now we're here. You need a transition right here. What transition are you going to put? So you did the work, but what transition can you use? What's the transition that shows a contrast? It's like the but it's a transition word.
Is it then?
However.
Oh, however.
Okay, however, it's changing direction. You're going straight ahead, and now, wait a minute, she didn't do anything with it. However, now you're turning off, you're turning left, or whatever, not going straight anymore. However, my teacher didn't go over what? Go over. Okay, the assignment when we went back to school, and didn't. Let's look at this word. Okay, and didn't ask us how. After you came back to school, right? I still remember how we made to go to assignment when we went back to school, and didn't ask us how. I think it should be how we did during the strike.
How we did.
Yeah. Because how we were doing, that says it's like tense is off. Okay, there we go. And this should be the strike, not there. Okay. Now how'd that make you feel? About that assignment?
I think I felt like that it was like that it ended up being useless, like that little activity.
Very good. Okay, makes sense. Write that down. I felt. Do that. I felt. Okay. Useless. And I got nothing out of my time out of school or away from school. I felt that the assignment in the end became useless and I got nothing out of my time out of school. There you go. How about away? Away from. Let's do that step out of. Away from. I got nothing. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Nope, yes. I might be wrong. And I got nothing from. Oh no, I told you to put it in the wrong place. Take it off of there. Sorry.
Wait. Away?
Just erase away. I put it in the wrong place. I got nothing from. Get rid of that of. My time away. That's what I wanted. Away from. There you go. All right. All right, now we also want to mention, say, brothers.
Yeah.
And so this is years later, right?
It was last year.
Okay, but it's not you're not a freshman in high school, so it's years later.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your transition. Years later.
Years.
Put a comma after it. Okay, years later. And what were you doing? You were teaching, or you were doing clinicals, or what?
During that time, that what was that? I was when they were on that little week, another week of their little break. I was still on my winter break, and then I was working at the daycare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you at college then?
Yeah. I was taking classes too. But that was
Years
that
later,
week
when
was not
I
yet.
was in college. Later, when I was in college, college, I again saw how a lack of funding affects students, period. Or a lack of funding affects disadvantaged students or poor students, something like that.
It was so-called that strike last year was about so-called the not enough healthcare like the not enough nurses in the school. I think it was mostly about, and then yeah, not enough nurses in the school, and then it was also about maybe their contracts still too and funding.
Okay, but it's still lack of funding, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we'd say that.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, when I was in college, I again saw how a lack of funding affects students. Now, my brothers missed school, right?
Yeah.
I guess you have to say during another strike. My brothers missed school because teachers were striking for what were they striking for? Orders striking. Okay, good. What happened to your brothers?
They stayed home.
Okay, my brother stayed home. Okay, let's see. Right. Okay, you're getting there. Oh, let's see. One of them. Work with it here. Activities to do during the strike. Let's get rid of some of this. It's a little too much. I think it's good enough. Strike during the week. Okay, remember this. What's wrong with provide?
Provided.
Exactly. And the computer is not always going to tell you because the computer doesn't always know.
Uh-huh.
So you have to pay attention. I've noticed your verb tenses are off sometimes.
Yeah.
So I need you to pay attention to that. Just oh, it's a verb. Okay. It's doing an action. So you got to think, do I have the right verb here? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And the important thing is that you're consistent. If you got a past tense verb there, stay, then you're going to have a past tense verb provided. Okay. All right. Activities to do during the strike, during the week. None of my brothers did the assignments. Okay. Did the assignments assigned to them by the school. That's good. All right. So let's just do one more sentence here to finish up this idea.
Okay.
Let's see here. As a result, comma, another transition. Transitions are good. Result, comma. My brothers also lost out on their education because of a lack of resources. Okay, period. Sales. I think you need because you have more than one brother. I'm going to put an S there. All right. I think that's pretty good. I think your connection part is done. Okay. All right. What do we want to do now?
Go to the other the other reaction paper, that first one.
All right. Let's see if I can find that. I don't know. What do you think? How do I figure this out?
The article is the one with the mental health, the immigration one by the nurse.
Oh, effects of immigration on adolescent mental health.
That nurse one, and then
so I should look at that one, right?
Yeah, that's the article, and then the essay one is the number one.
Oh, okay. Got a minute. Let's look at that one more time. I think I know this. Yeah, I know this one. All right. Hang on. Find the article though. I'm gonna guess it's here. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, what are we doing with this one? Are we just it's pretty long.
Yeah, they got pretty
long.
Yeah, sure.
Or something. You sure?
I think the parts that we went with, you helped me with the.
We looked at some of it. We looked at some of it, right?
Yeah, you helped me with the first two. The first two, that first one is the summary, and then the second one is the surprise me. And then
where's that go? Oh yeah, right.
And then you had helped me with toward the end those paragraphs, but I think I kind of changed them around a little, the last two.
So,
and then
so I should start reading
And then I added
Let me
another one about the clinical. So I think we can read with the clinical part.
Can you read me the first 3 words so I know what paragraph?
It's the third one, and this starts. The article relates to my clinical experience.
There we go. Thank you. Okay. The article relates to my clinical experiences because many of the students that I observed were immigrants, and there was a mix of ethnicities at Brenneman. I think that should be were. There were. So were immigrants and were a mix. See?
Mm-hmm.
There was a student. Let's do, this is an example you're going to give us here, right?
Yes.
So how do you introduce an example?
Oh, look, those are for example, right?
Exactly. So put for example, comma. Small t, good. For example, comma, there was a student that had newly immigrated. Now something's wrong here. That had newly immigrated. What do you think you should do here? What's the blue line set tell you to do?
Oops.
You don't see a blue line. Why don't I see a blue line?
It said to add a word here.
Okay.
It said
seems good.
Add the word who and then change the word no to new.
Well, you got new already. So just add a comma after immigrated.
Mm-hmm.
And then add the word who. For example, there was a student that had newly integrated who knew little to some English. Let's just say that's weird. Usually you'd say little to none. You never say little to some. You could just say, did he know a little? Did he know a lot? Like how much English did he know?
I think not a lot, but was able to understand.
Okay. Who knew, let's say who knew only a little English. For example, there was a student that had newly immigrated who knew only a little English. Okay, that's fine. Who knew only a little English and was somewhat withdrawn. When he was asked by the art teacher to read the class rules in Spanish in front of the class, what's going on here? Okay, so just listen to me now. When he was asked by the art teacher to read the class rules in English in front of the class, what's the problem?
Oh, it sounds like a friend, right?
It is. So you know how to correct fragments pretty easily, pretty usually.
Put the comma here.
Exactly. Put a comma there, and then what? Yeah, what you did was put a period when you should put a comma. And then what do you need to do? One more small little thing. Exactly. Very excellent.
Yeah.
When he was asked by the art teacher to read the class rules in Spanish in front of the class, that student didn't want to read the rules out. Okay, beautiful. Usually what the problem is with fragments is you decide to stick a period in. This is everyone, not just you. When really you need a comma and you need the next sentence to complete the idea. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. Okay, that's generally the problem. And it goes around in front of the class. That student didn't want. Okay, fine. The art teacher then read the rules out. It's actually out loud. Okay, your choices are, you could say, The art teacher then read the rules aloud, or you can say the art teacher then read the rules out loud. You can't say out aloud. What would you like?
Out loud.
Okay, I'm just going to get rid of the A. Very good. Nope, I got the wrong thing out there. Sorry about that. All right, now we got it. The art teacher then read the rules out loud, and the students had to repeat after the teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The article. Do you want to? Let's just add to this. Well, how do you think? How do you think that student who was embarrassed? How do you think that he felt?
I think he felt kind of nervous, and then was like, not.
What about when they're everyone else is reading the rules out loud? How do you think he felt?
More relaxed, because I think everyone else is reading it with the teacher.
Okay. Probably made. We're gonna say it's a him. I don't know if it is. So you think he felt better?
Yes.
All right, let's just do that. So we have a little point. You got a point here, okay? Student doing then read the rules out loud, and the students had to repeat after him, which probably made, sorry, not him. I don't know who that is. The first, say here. All right. Maybe we'll say new. The new, is he new, you think?
Yeah, when I went there, he was still considered new. I went there, like, when I first visited the school and the class, he was still like a newly came student to the school.
Okay. And he seemed like he felt better, which seemed to make. All right. The article talks about the pressure of immigrating and secondary factors that come along with it. Some of the factors mentioned include cultural and language strain, family factors, and ethnicity and identity. You got too many ands here, I think. Can we just say family factors, ethnicity, like do it like that? Some of the factors mentioned include cultural and language strain, family factors, ethnicity, and identity. Can you do that?
I think so.
Instead of having two ands.
Yeah, because some of them, like, they're just like repeating the stuff with an and.
Okay, well, I'm going to assume you can do that. The relocation to a new country may impact a child's sense of identity and disrupt their learning in regard to cultural and language acquisition. This may make the learning of a new language and culture more difficult for them. The article mostly talks about the impact on adolescent children. Okay. Yeah. All right. So if you leave your however like this, you have a run-on sentence.
Okay.
So what do we need to do? You need to change this mark of punctuation. Do you know what you change it to?
To the one with the little dot and the comma, right?
It is. It's a semicolon. Okay, that's what you want to change it to. Go ahead and do that. A semicolon connects two complete sentences, and that's what you got. The article mostly talks about the impact on adolescent children. Sentence one. However, I was placed with younger kids in the second grade. Why are you making this point? So what? So I didn't notice what happened, or what's your point that you're trying to make there?
I think I was somehow kind of trying to connect it to that student with that.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, so would you say, so I finished that sentence, so I what?
And
So I didn't notice, or so that was my experience, or something like that?
hmm.
So I didn't notice any issues with the I am. I'm with Mandy. Oh, cool. You can't see her, but you can say hi. Hi, Mandy.
Hi.
That's Christina.
Hi.
I just came in here to say it's not fair that I'm the only one that gets you.
Why?
Those subject line folks.
We're good?
Chef's good.
Oh,
Good job.
good. I'm glad you, oh, thank you for telling me. I thought some of them were a little, so that was good. Okay, good. Thank you. Oh, and I have something to tell you too. Are you around? Not bad. Okay. Katie, my friend from the Chicago Symphony, is on for you. It'll be good. That's, and I was hoping we get the other ones I haven't heard. Steph's out of town, so I'm gonna get her. So, and then the other one was kind of she lives way far away. So, but Katie's good. CSO, that's great. Yeah, sure. We'll talk more. Sorry about that. Okay. So I didn't notice any issues. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's better. And I am going to put one more comment there. Impact on, however, I was placed beyond the kids and cigarettes. So all right. It is reasonable to assume that the same stresses for adolescents extend. The same stressors for adolescents extend. Yeah, that's fine. Lastly, the article talks about how negative mental health effects, social problems in children who've immigrated to other countries. This is a long paragraph. You know what? We're gonna this is a long paragraph. So we're going to make that a separate paragraph, okay?
Okay.
Because it's just too long. Your average size paragraph should be between 3 and 10 sentences. This would be too much over the top. And that this is a good place to break the paragraph because of the transition. Lastly, okay? Lastly, the article talks about how negative mental health effects and social problems in children who've immigrated to other countries are overlooked. I didn't experience much of the interactions between children and their parents, so it's difficult. So it's difficult, I'd say, for me, is that okay?
Yeah.
To determine if there was a strong family support system or if mental and social health are right. Mental and social health. Okay, you got these two. What should that be?
It's the worm.
Yep. What should it be?
The
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. I didn't hear what you said. Here's my test, okay? You know the Jack and Jill rhyme? Have you ever heard Jack and Jill went up the hill to petrify? Okay, so that is about the easiest little rhyme I know. So when I'm trying to figure out, should this be were or should it be was? I go to Jack and Jill. Jack was overlooked. Jack and Jill were overlooked. So you've got two things here, mental, Jack, and social health, Jill, Jack, and Jill were overlooked. If it was just mental, or if mental health was overlooked, that's what you'd have. But you've got two, mental and social health, so it's were. Okay. So I just try and I call it my Jack and Jill test, to see, okay, that's the easiest thing I could think of. There's no words getting involved. It works pretty well. You could do anything you want, but it's good to test these things. Okay, so if there was a strong. Yeah, in fact, here's a good, if there was a strong family, there's only one here, so it was, okay? But here there's two, so it's were. However, there was care when attempting to speak with the students who knew the least amount of English. There was, let's say, concern. Who was concerned? When who attempted?
The staff
Teacher?
member.
Okay, let's do that. When staff members. However, there was concern when staff members, I would say, attempted here. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to have to do were. I don't know. It's a big pain in the neck. I always do the simplest thing. However, there was concern when staff members attempted to speak with the students. Speak with students. I'm going to get rid of that. I don't need it. To speak with students who knew the least amount of English. That's fine. When a staff member came to teach who?
The class.
The class about a self-awareness. When a staff member came to teach the class about a self-awareness book, had the class read?
It was on that staff member played it on YouTube of the book.
Okay.
Someone reading it.
So the students, I say, but they were just listening to it with the staff member, right?
Yes.
Okay, we need a little more information. They were, when a staff member came to teach the class about a self-awareness book, they were listening to? He used a translator app to talk more extensively with them about the assignment. That's good. Overall, this article, let's see now, hold on. What's concerns? Oh, so this is an example.
Yeah,
However, there was concern. Staff members attempted. I'm going to say positive concern, just to make it really clear. Okay. However, there was positive concern for who? For the students. No, students. Sorry, I'm just messing around here. Shown to, sorry. However, there was positive concern shown to the students when staff members attempted to speak with students who knew the least amount of English. And you know what words I'm going to write here, don't you?
For example.
Exactly, that is the word. You can't, it's a good thing to be using those. You're helping your reader, and that's your job as a writer, to help the reader. And when you say, for example, the reader knows, oh, there's an example coming. Excellent. So you want to help them. That's what transitions are there for. And for example, is a transition. Transitions make it easier for the reader to understand what's going on. That's your whole purpose for writing. For example, when a staff member came to teach the class about a self-awareness book they were listening to, he used the translator app to talk more extensively with them about the assignment. Beautiful. Overall, this article had some connections to my experience, yeah, because it discusses immigration and the problems that children face when relocating to another country and being involved in the school system. Very good. You're not a bad writer. I'm here to tell you. Just be sure that if any of this is being borrowed, that you're letting us know, okay? Perfectly fine to do it. You just have to document it. Because my parents are immigrants from Vietnam, China, and Hong Kong, I see some connection to the way I was raised. Did we look at this? The quote, the stereotype that all Asians are good at math or should always make straight A's. Well, it may sound too common, but this toxically, yeah, that's right. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Quote. Yep. Yeah, I think that's right. Page 766, that goes there, right? Not at the end of the sentence?
Mm, yeah.
Clearly,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I I think
Let's
it
see.
goes there, no? Mhm.
I'm gonna look at it again. This time with the quote. Who said this quote?
It was in the article.
Who's the article by?
The It's a Romancito Perez.
Okay. Can we spell his name?
You,
Can you spell for me?
the last name or the first?
Yep. All I want is his last name.
Perez.
Just quote. Hang on here. Yeah, all right, let's do that. Perez's quote, the stereotype at all. Still not really changed. Dang. Yeah, I don't know. Yep, we're gonna leave it because I'm not positive. During an 8th grade parent conference, something like that. During an 8th grade parent conference, I got to see one of my classes. My mom was surprised by the grade and said, now she's getting, yeah, I remember this. Now she's getting, not like a previous grade. Next day after the conference, my teacher told me, classroom surprised because the stereotype that Asian kids always get good grades. I was really surprised about any problems, and that the teacher repeated it to the class for most of my grades. Another connection between the article and my own life has to do with the author being bullied by her classmates. My mother and the author were both bullied. They had a hard time fitting into life in the United States. They both were being bullied by her classmates. Oops. No. Wait. So you're talking, when you say both, you mean both the author and your mother, correct?
Yes.
Okay. They both were, I'm going to fix this because it sounds like your mom and the author were in the same school and they weren't. They both were bullied by their, okay, it's not her classmates, it's their classmates because of their, okay, accent and their wait a minute, because there's two, they were both bullied by their classmates because of their accents, two different accents, and their, it's really their inability, right?
Mm.
What about that? Perfect English. Their inability to speak perfect English. Is that correct?
Yes.
My mom was also bullied by her own Chinese classmates because of her accent. Ay, ay, ay. Hang on, now we don't need this line. And are these Chinese classmates for both of them?
For the Arthur, I'm not sure, but I think
Okay.
the Arthur did mention it was just her classmates that kind of bullied her because she didn't, like, when the teacher asked her questions and stuff, or like the classmates, she just answered yes or no because she didn't really know how to speak English yet.
Okay. We're gonna do another transition. Wait a minute. And you already got transition also for the transition. My mom's also was. We're just doing a little actually. In fact, my mom was actually bullied by her own Chinese classmates because of her accent. Oh, please, English. Okay. Like the author, my mom had a difficult time adjusting to life here and to transfer to a different school where she was treated better. Okay, that's good. That looks pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're ready to go on this one too then, right?
Yeah, I think this is.
2 down. Good job. What else?
If we still have a little time, this another one.
We only have a little time because I'm giving you extra time. I want to make that clear. Okay, what else?
Got another one.
Which one?
I just send you the article. About to send you the paper.
Okay. Is this the one you just sent? No? Must be, right? It's 0207, yeah. Okay, let's look at that while you're waiting. So this is the new one?
Mm-hmm.
9 pages. But we still have a week on this, right?
I think so. I'm not. My professor still hasn't really replied to me. Like when's the like the last day to
How
turn.
many more do you have other than this one?
And the assignment.
Yeah, how many more assignments?
This one. Maybe 5 more, including this one will be 5. 5
Oh
more.
my God. Okay. Gotta move quickly here. We gotta move this next week. We're almost done. Did you read this?
Yeah, we read it together.
Did?
Yeah.
I don't remember anything. They all seem the same. Oh yeah, Canada. Oh yeah, all right. Got it. Oh yeah, okay, okay. Thank God we read it already. Okay. So now I'm looking at the paper for this.
Mm-hmm.
And you just sent that to me. Okay. These assignments are all the same, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the same idea. It's just
Okay.
like on a different article.
Right, right, right. Good. I'm glad you're doing these. And have I read any of this?
I think For this one, was the first paragraph of the so-called summary of the article. But I think we had a quote that was like very long here. But for this last
Okay.
sentence, this is a very long quote.
All right, I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
The article that I chose for this reaction paper is a snapshot of ESL students. It's written by Early is looking at research from the 1980s that is trying to determine whether a small group from the school in British Columbia was successful in learning English in ESL. The students in the school were immigrants from many different ESL backgrounds. Early's work once again showed that it was unrealistic for most students to completely learn English within 2 to 3 years. Though about half the sample was successful in learning English in such a short time, the majority of the sample needed at least 4 years or more. These findings do not differ whether it was secondary or primary school. Whether these findings do not differ whether, I think it's not it, whether they concerned these findings do not differ whether they concern secondary or primary school students. Success of the students in learning English within the 4 years seems to depend on, quote, previous educational background. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that quote.
I remember this. I remember this now. Yeah.
Is very long. Yep. Not sure, should we shorten it?
I remember this. Early urges more studies and more data in order to figure out how many years support is really. Okay, good. It is somewhat surprising that students need a specific amount of years to truly learn English, and that it doesn't always happen in a 2 to 3 year period. Kind of a long, stringy sentence. That's what we call it. I'm going to put a period there. It is somewhat surprising that students need a specific, and this was what surprised you, right? Right?
Yeah.
It was somewhat surprising to me that students need a specific, actually number is the word. Number. There's a test, but I don't feel like going into it now because it's a pain in the neck. It was somewhat surprising to me that students need a specific number of years to truly learn English. I'm going to put a period here because it's a stringy sentence. It goes on and on. It's not a run-on. But it just kind of going too many and. Yeah, that's all. But that's the only reason we're doing this. It doesn't always happen in a 2 to 3 year period. I'm going to take out the and put a but. But can take 4 years or even longer. It doesn't always happen in a 2 to 3 year period. It can take 4 years or even longer. Okay. Many children who immigrate to other countries are able to learn the language more quickly when they are younger. And that's until you read this article, right? When you say, so I thought that maybe the younger they are, the quicker they would learn. that what you mean?
Yeah. Huh.
But when you read the article, you realized that wasn't necessarily true.
Yeah, after that, yeah.
Okay, I'm giving you a better transition. Until I read this article, I had believed that, we're going to get rid of them maybe here, that the younger children are the quicker they would learn. Till I read this article, I believe that the younger children are, the quicker they would learn. However, as indicated by the article, not all young children learn at the same pace, and some need more structure and longer exposure to a new language before they can properly learn it. Same pace. Let's do a comma here. See, so some of you, and instead of an and, we're going to do a so, which shows cause and effect.
Okay.
Instead of just addition. And shows addition, so shows cause and effect. However, as indicated by the article, not all young children learn at the same pace, so some need more structure and longer exposure to a new language before they can properly learn it. Okay. The article mentions that the 4-year time span, for there. The article mentions that the 4-year time span did not matter if the students were in primary or secondary school. Article mentions. Did not have an impact whether, it's the same thing as this. The article mentions that the 4-year time span did not have an impact. Did not have an impact on what? Impact on what? Children's learning?
Yeah.
Whether. The article mentions the 4-year time span did not have an impact on children's learning, whether or not the students were in primary or secondary school. I see. Showing that the age of children who are learning a new language. Yeah. Get rid of all this. Okay. Gotta read it again. I don't know. However, as indicated by the article, not all young children learn at the same pace. Some need more structure and longer exposure to a new language before they can properly learn it. The article mentions that the 4-year time span did not have an impact on children's learning, whether or not the students were in primary or secondary school. Showing the age of children who are learning new languages, not really. All right, too many impacts. Let's see here. Well, we're just gonna, just because we don't want to repeat the same word if we can avoid it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
the article mentions that the 4-year time span did not have an influence. Let's see, did not influence. We don't need to have. The article mentions that the 4-year time span did not influence children's learning, whether or not the students were primary or secondary school. I don't know. Showing that the age of children who are learning the language. All right, there we go. The article relates to my clinical experiences because it discusses the language acquisition of younger children and how long it takes them to learn a new language, such as English. In my classroom of second graders, in my classroom of second graders, let's do this. The children are, oops. In my classroom of second graders, the children are around, are similar in age. Yeah, now we get rid of that. So don't say it in 10 words if you can say it in 5, okay? What am I doing here? Is there a space there or not? Yeah. In my class for second graders, children are similar in age to the children in the British Columbia study, with students aged between 6 and 8 years old. With students, I don't think you need the word aged here. With students between 6 and 8 years old, okay? Yeah, that's good. In my clinical, the students varied on how much English they understood, with some students needing more instruction than others. Generally, the students understood mostly English instruction, with some needing Spanish translation and combination. Generally, the students understood mostly, I think it's fine. Some needing Spanish. Okay. The article talks about, I think you need a word, how. The article talks about how in the study, comma, in the study, 70% of the students had fully integrated into English classes and activities. The students in my school also demonstrated similar results, with only a couple of the students needing further instruction. The majority of the students in the class struggle very little with the English language. Perhaps indicating that they had previous quality instruction on learning. I would say in. The majority of the students in the class struggle very little. Yeah. Perhaps something that they had previous quality. Okay. It is reasonable to assume that the children in a couple of years where they had heard English, it is reasonable to assume that the children already had a couple of years. How about this? Listening to English. Okay. It is reasonable to assume the children already had a couple of years listening to English, such as in daycare at home. And by the way, there's no reason to capitalize daycare. It's not like John Smith's daycare. It's not a proper noun. The children already had a couple of years listening to English, such as, at. There we go. Such as at daycare, at home, and early, let's do earlier, I guess. Earlier grades or earlier, what do you think? And in earlier grades?
Yeah, like in the preschool-ish.
Just that way. And in. It is reasonable to assume that children already had a couple of years listening to English, such as daycare at home and in earlier grades at school. So they may gain proficiency in around, I think that's right, in around the 4 years that the article mentions. Okay, that sounds good. What else? You have more you have to write for this, or are we okay?
I
You have
think
the connection, right?
for this one, it was the reflection on the topic, that part, including life experience or materials.
But you had that, right? I mean, you've got your personal connection thing to it, right? You've got your clinical experience. The article relates to my clinical experiences because it discusses that paragraph.
Talk about it. The discussion to talk.
I think you're okay.
This connects, that paragraph also is like the last bullet point too.
All right, hang on. I gotta go back and look.
It can be in the first page.
I know, but I gotta find it. There's so much open, I can't tell. Oh wait. Dang. Where is it? Fused. Nope, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. Where is this thing? I have too much here. I can't tell what's going on.
It was also in that.
Okay. Oh wait, I got it now. Okay, reaction paper. So you're concerned that.
How about this little part?
Talk about any other reflections?
Right, that paragraph, okay.
Okay, well, let's see. All right, do you have life experience on this? Jean? I don't know. Do you have any other life experience other than clinical?
I think for me, my thing was really with this part about how they learn English
Okay,
at home and at daycare.
okay.
That part.
I mean, I don't know. Well, I mean, you could mention that you don't have any other experience if you want.
No, I think it was like one of these I didn't really have that much of a connection to. It was either
Okay.
the second one or the third one.
Okay. So do you need to say something else?
Maybe just say that I didn't really have any connection to.
Okay, go ahead. Maybe a new paragraph though.
Okay.
And why do you think you didn't have a connection?
Um, um, actually, I think my connection was that I was so-called in the program.
What do you mean, at school?
Yeah.
You want to start with because? And tell me what you mean? Because I was? Yes, you're good. Um, so as a result of your 4 years or whatever it was in the ESL program, what could you say about yourself?
Mm,
Okay, and so because of this, then what?
mm,
How was your school experience? Okay. All right, now we're going to go over this
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to correct the mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say a word, but I'm going to read it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade, when I was tested out of the ESL program when I was in 4th grade, the only struggle I had was with my writing, where I would make grammar mistakes. I was able to English from when I went to a daycare where the teachers talk in English, Mandarin, Chinese, and at home with my mom and other family members. Because of this, I think I didn't really struggle when it came to speaking in English to my classmates and teacher in school. Could you hear any of the mistakes?
I think so. Yeah. And those.
All right, I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read it again. Because I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade. What's wrong with that? Because I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade.
It's a fragment.
It is. If I had said to you, why do you think you're successful in school? And you replied to me, because I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade, that would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing before that. We're not having a conversation. This is you writing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have a fragment. What do we need to do there? Because I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade, then what? Good start.
And then
Okay. Good. Yeah, a lot of repetition. So that's good. You're getting rid of something. Let me show you something here too. You had a fragment. Because I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade. One way to not make that a fragment is what you're trying to do, which is attach it to the sentence after. That's good. Another thing you can do is just get rid of because. So instead of because I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade, just get rid of the because.
Okay.
I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade. Now it's a complete sentence. Okay, it's the because that makes it the fragment. Okay, I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade. So that's a whole sentence. What do you need to do after 4th grade? Changes things. Exactly. Get rid of that. Okay, now I got a period. Okay, so now capitalize your W for when. When I was in 4th grade, I was tested out. When I was in 4th grade, I was tested out of the there you go. When I was in 4th grade, I was tested out of the ESL program. All right, what's the problem here? When I was in 4th, so far so good. When I was in 4th grade, by the way, I don't think you need the was. In this case, I think you can just say I tested. There you go. I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade. When I was in 4th grade, I tested out of the ESL program. The only struggle I had, so what's the problem now? When I was in 4th grade, I tested out of the ESL program. The only struggle I had was with my writing. What's the problem? It's a different problem. You don't usually have this problem either, by the way. When I was in 4th grade, I tested out of the ESL program. The only struggle I had was with my writing. What do you notice when I read it? When I was in 4th grade, I tested out of the ESL program.
Or a comma.
Not a comma. If you put a comma, you're gonna have a run-on sentence. What do you need instead? You don't usually make this mistake.
Oh, is it those the fanboys? Those fanboys?
No, it could be, but I'm going for the easiest thing. It could be, but I'm going easy. When I was in 4th grade, I tested out of the ESL program. What's the easiest mark of punctuation? What's the one that stops the sentence?
Oh, the period.
Exactly. Put a period in there. Okay. I was in the ESL program from preschool to 4th grade. When I was in 4th grade, I tested out of the ESL program. Okay. All right. What do we have to do with the? Here we go. The only struggle I had was with my writing. And let's not do where. So what was the problem with your writing? What did you have a problem?
The grammar.
Okay. You said you make grammar mistakes. What word do I want? I want a cause effect word here.
Oh, is it the because?
Yes, it is. It is. What's that word? Say it again.
Because?
Exactly. That's your cause and effect word. So and because. The only struggle I had was with my writing because I would make grammar mistakes. Well, you already said with my writing, we don't need to say in my writing. It's repetitious. So you get rid of it. Good. The only struggle I had was with my writing because I would make grammar mistakes. You got a period there? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Put a period there. It's not there. I was able to learn English from when I went to a daycare to learn English. Oh, not from when. Cause and effect word again. Same one.
Oh, the
Popular word.
the because?
Exactly. Put it in there. The only struggle I had was with my writing because I would make grammar mistakes. I was able to learn English because I went to a daycare where the teachers talk in English. Is it happening today?
With the ET.
Exactly. I was able to learn English because I went, past tense, to a daycare where the teachers talked in English. And good. And what are you doing there? I think you're spelling things wrong. There you go. And I think there's an S on that too, sometimes. And sometimes in Mandarin, and I think, how do you spell that? There we go. Here, we got it. Let them do it. I was able to learn English because I went to a daycare where the teachers talked in English and sometimes in Mandarin Chinese. Talked English. Let me think. I think we have some punctuation issues. I was able to learn English because I went to a daycare where the teachers talked. Both in. You know what we're gonna do? Talked. Both and works together a lot. Both in English and sometimes in Mandarin Chinese. Okay. What do you need to do here? I was able to learn English because I went to a daycare where the teachers talked both in English, sometimes in Mandarin Chinese. Mark of punctuation.
The comma?
Exactly. Okay, good. I was able to learn English because I went to a daycare where the teachers talked both in English and sometimes in Mandarin Chinese, and at home with my mom and other family members. Because of this, I think I didn't really struggle when it came to speaking in English to my class. It came to speaking in English. Because of this, I think I didn't really struggle when it came to speaking in English. I think it's a with. Okay. With my classmates. And we're going to say, I'm going to assume you had more than one teacher, so I'm going to put an S there. Okay? I think we're good. I want you to notice that I read things out loud over and over and over again. And that has helped me my whole life with writing. And you should be doing that too. Read it out loud to yourself so that your ears can hear it and your eyes can see it. Because your ears are going to catch mistakes that your eyes miss.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Mm.
That's the best advice I could possibly give you about writing, actually. That and read 20 minutes a day, something fun that you like. Okay, we're good.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, there. I'll see you on Monday, right?
Yes.
Last week. All right, get your work, get the rest of it good. You did great today. You got a lot done.
Yes. Thank
3
you.
papers to get done. That's excellent. All right. More to come. All right,
Yes.
see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Work hard. Bye.
Bye.